Hello, classmates. Hello, professor. How you guys doing? My name is Brian Mendez, and the title of my project is Historically, How Has Advertising Affected Mental Health and Body Image? So, let's begin. Throughout history, there has always been a beauty standard for women and men, usually set by the mass media or the public at the time. But throughout the 20th century, the beauty standard took a drastic change as advertising became more prevalent, more visual, and more effective. It unintentionally or intentionally changed what the beauty standard was and is. With those changes came many effects on mental health and body image, and those effects still linger. As advertising evolves, even with the evolution of social media, you now see models on your feed every day, just people that are in commercial advertising. You see them every day instead of just seeing them in magazines or on television. You now see them every day, constantly on social media. So let's get started with what is the beauty standard and this idea of the beauty standard. Well, it is the physical attractiveness of a woman or man that deals with their physical features. It could be height, weight, facial features. The beauty standard has been around for centuries and has been ever evolving from curvy and voluptuous women in the 18th and 19th century to women that were tall and very thin in the 20th century to now the 20th, 21st century, where the beauty standard is still very much there, but now it is visible and viewed every day on social media and constantly. Speaking of the beauty standard, it leads us into what is body image. Well, body image is the personal view or mental image that one has of themselves. Body image is a self-reflection of oneself and is an amalgamation of characteristics that is perceived by oneself. Similar to beauty standard, those characteristics usually being physical features, which might include height, weight, body shape, facial features, and more, etc. That perception of body image can either be a positive one or a negative one. When one has a negative body image, it usually means that you perceive yourself as less than others, or that you don't look as good as others do. Negative body image is also directly connected to mental health, as it has led to disorders and depression. Body image can be influenced by outside sources like advertising and social media, which throughout the years has had an effect on body image. And speaking of having an effect on body image, mental health, body image, and mental health are directly correlated, leading me to my next slide. After getting a brief knowledge of what body image is, let's go deeper and watch this YouTube video.
If you look in the mirror and feel disappointed, you're not alone. An international survey found that 56% of women and 43% of men are dissatisfied with their overall appearance. So why is it so hard to like your own body, and how can you use your own psychology and neurology to help? Neurologically, the concept of your body is made up of many different parts. The visual image of yourself from your eyes, the feeling of your body even when you can't see it, called proprioception, or even a somatotopic arrangement or brain map in your head that has sections devoted to processing sensations and commands to specific body parts. But this internal or individualistic view of your body is also complemented by a collectivist view, which is how you think your body should exist based on your social groups and other external factors.
Based on your social groups and external factors like social media, like mass media, like advertisements.
factors. One major component is self-objectification, which is when you compare your body to a collective other based on the types of bodies you see around you. And in the age of social media, we've been dealt a tough hand when it comes to handling our own body dissatisfaction.
Something I noticed while watching this video is when he draws his characters comparing themselves to others, they don't seem happy. They seem melancholic or perceived as sad. That's leading to the mental health aspect.
A 2017 study looking at 3,000 different female models from 20 different modeling agencies calculated that the average BMI among them was 17.3, which is far below the average American woman's BMI of 26.5.
Like I mentioned, his characters are seemingly melancholic while these characters are smiling, and even the body mass index is unrealistic for normal females. This is unrealistic, and those unrealistic standards lead to mental health issues.
Other studies showed men advertisements with male models versus ones with just household products, and the men who viewed the male models immediately felt less body satisfaction compared to those looking at household objects.
Again, those things lead to mental health issues. So, let's get into what mental health is and what it's perceived to be. Mental health. What is mental health? Mental health is an evaluation of your physical self and your psyche. Your psyche being your morals, your emotions. Mental health is affected by the intricacies of your daily stress, your relations with those around you, the choices you make daily, and the outside world that you view. Now that we have these three topics and basic information about them, we can delve deeper into my project. Let's get into the main part of my project. Historically, how has advertising been affecting body image? At the turn of the 20th century, the beauty standards saw a change from curvaceous and voluptuous women to women that were thin, petite, and had a young body type. It was seen as the new beauty standard. This was much in part due to advertisements, as the models that were shown in the ads were extremely thin and had a young body type. This Rolex ad, for instance, it's a watch ad, but instead of trying to show off the watch or even try to sell it to us, it shows off the model more, showing her body off more than the watch. And this model that's used in that is a fantastic example for what the beauty standard was at the time, which is a young and thin-bodied model. Her name being Leslie Lawson, but her nickname being Twiggy for her thin and lanky physique. As wanting to reach this physique came with disorder, came with mental health issues, as it was unrealistic for a normal female. Leslie Lawson, also known as Twiggy, this Twiggy advertisement shows off how advertisers would use these models to either intentionally or unintentionally set the beauty standard. Using sign, signified, and signifier, we discover that she represented what beauty was in the 60s and 70s, which was a very young and thin body type, which is the signified, and the signifier is Twiggy herself. The sign, of course, is the ad we're looking at. Looking at this using Roland Barthes' theory, we can break down this advert. The connotation that you receive when reading the ad is that this model is a part of the new chic. That is what Rolex is portraying. Why else would they choose a model with this physique? They chose a thin model to set a standard. The denotation that you receive is that Rolex itself is the new chic. The non-coded iconic message is that this woman's watch is a part of the new style. The coded iconic message is that the only way to be a part of the new style is to look like this model. Thin, petite, and have a young body type. But the thing is, this new style, the new chic, it comes with unrealistic body types. And that could lead to many mental health issues, many disorders, and that's what it did. So, mental health. How has advertising been affecting mental health is the question. Well, Twiggy, as I said, is a good example of what the 20th century beauty standard was. But this beauty standard was unrealistic for most women. This beauty standard that was set by advertising, unintentionally or intentionally, led many to eating disorders to try to obtain this thin body type. Those eating disorders came from a mental idea that was they had to look like these models to be beautiful. One eating disorder that many fell victim to is anorexia, which is an eating disorder characterized by an abnormally low body weight and an intense fear of gaining weight and a distorted perception of their weight or weight in general. So advertising had a lot of effects on mental health. Not only did it make many depressed that they could not look a certain way because of course these standards were unrealistic, but it had effects on the body, leading me to advertising has evolved and has turned into something bigger. It has evolved into what social media is now. Let's get into that. So, social media, the new age of advertising. Since the turn of the 20th century, technology has been ever advancing, and with those advancements came a new way to market yourself, i.e. online advertising, i.e. social media. You are now able to post ads on social media for thousands, if not millions, to see, all at the touch of your fingers. But with this increase of social media advertising came similar effects on mental health and body image. What are those effects? How has social media contributed to mental health and body image? You're bombarded by models, social media influencers daily, rather than just seeing them in magazines, billboards, or even television, i.e. traditional advertising. This has had adverse effects on body image and mental health. You now have people who see these influencers and models constantly, and those people develop body dysmorphia and depression because they are unable to reach these models' beauty standards. And as for body image, there are negative effects that social media brings. They set standards that are lies, as people constantly use Photoshop to hide their imperfections. It's all built on lies. But there's a high note that comes with social media. There are now these movements that bring positive outlook on body image, that say it's okay to look the way you look. That is the body positivity movement. And it's helped people leaps and bounds. I wanted to end on a high note. So, thank you for all enjoying my presentation. I hope you guys liked it. If not, just tell me. Give me some tips. Have a great day, guys.